Hi everyone, welcome to Eco Learning Classes. This is Professor Geeta Mahesh. Dear students, let us discuss how to prepare for this midterm exam. As in this midterm exam, we have 7 chapters, 6 chapters from microeconomics and the first chapter of macroeconomics. First, you prepare objective type questions from all the chapters. And while you are preparing, don't make a choice. You prepare all the questions as there won't be any choice in part A. Then go to part B. Preparing part B becomes very easy if you prepare systematically. One more thing you have to keep in your mind, from part B there will be 14 questions. Out of 14 you need to answer 9 questions. If you answer 9 into 2, 18 marks. If you focus on this 18 marks where the preparation is so easy and very simple questions will be there, answer will be very simple, easily you can get a 18 on 18. What are the important questions under these 7 chapters for midterm? Let us see. Mention the basic or central problems of an economy. Distinguish between microeconomics and macroeconomics. Distinguish between positive economics and normative economics. Go to second chapter. What do you mean by inferior goods? Give example. State the law of demand. Then what do you mean by a price elasticity of demand and give its formula. Mention 2 approaches to study consumer behavior. And if you go to third chapter, they mention short run cost or what are long run cost, or write the meaning of short run cost, short run and long run. So these type of questions are very important. And if you go to fourth chapter, there also mention the conditions for profit maximization or mention determinants of supply curve are very important from that. And even what do you mean by isoquant for 2 marks. Sometimes they may ask even monotonic preference from the second chapter. Dear students, you can go to fourth chapter or fifth chapter where they may ask define equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. And if you go to sixth chapter, they mention the features of monopoly or requirements of monopoly market are very important. And if you go to seventh chapter, that is introduction to macroeconomics, the features of capitalistic economy, or they may ask one more question, what are macroeconomic agents? And one more important question, that is mention the kinds of trade in external sector and give the meaning. And in consumer behavior, they may ask for 2 marks, distinguish between budget line and budget set, which is also important if you consider the differences. And there is one more difference under fifth chapter. What is the difference between excess demand and excess supply? So please do focus on these questions. And even what do you mean by shutdown point is also very important. If you prepare questions which are frequently asked in the final exam, it becomes very easy for you to prepare. And come to next 4 mark questions. Chapter wise you can focus and you can prepare 4 mark questions also. If you consider first chapter, production possibility curve is important, and write a short note on central problems of an economy is also equally important. And if you come to second chapter, one difference between or distinguish between, they will ask, there are 3 questions. Difference between total utility and marginal utility you can consider, or the difference between substitute goods and complementary goods, or the difference between inferior goods and normal goods. And few more important 4 mark questions from chapter 2, that is consumer behavior, are write a note on indifference map is also very very important. You can consider these things, and from this chapter even you can focus 6 mark questions. And 6 mark question very important is LDMU, properties of indifference curve, and optimal choice of a consumer. And if you go to the third chapter, isoquant, write a note on isoquant is very very important. And explain the returns to scale, that is 4 mark question, very important. You can prepare for that also. And if you consider 6 mark question, write a note on short run cost, that is important. And sometimes they may ask you to calculate TVC, TC, AVC, and SAC, and they will give the information, that is SMC will be given, and you need to use that value and you have to calculate. One problem oriented and short run is there, and that is also important for 6 months. And one more question, law of variable proportion, which is important for 6 months. If you prepare this, they are very very important. And from this chapter, one 4 mark question is there, one more 4 mark question, that is one problem oriented 4 mark question is there. And they will ask you to calculate AP and MP. They will be given TP, and labors will be given. Easily you can calculate. While you are attending this type of questions, problem oriented, don't forget to write formulas. Then go to the next chapter, that is the 4th chapter, theory of forms and a perfect competition. Their features of perfect competition is very very important for 4 marks. And one more important question in this chapter is explain the conditions of profit maximization. That is first one, P equal to MC, and P must be non-decreasing at Q0. And determinants of supply curve is also important. And one more question is there, write a note on normal profit, break-even point, and shutdown point. And that is also very easy. You can just focus on this concept and you can learn very well. And 6 mark question from this chapter, if I consider 6 mark question, if you consider from this chapter, you can focus on explain market supply curve with the help of a diagram. And derivation of supply curve of a firm in short run is also equally important. Just a focus on market supply curve, it is very very important and easy to learn too. Then if you go to 5th chapter, market equilibrium with a fixed number of firms is important for 6 months. And if you consider 4 mark questions, price ceiling, price floor is also important. And determination of equilibrium, or determination of market equilibrium when there is a pre-entry and exit. So focus on these questions. And from this chapter, 6 mark question, if you consider, one problem oriented question is there, and that is QD is given, QS will be given, and you have to find out equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity. And if price is less than equilibrium price and more than equilibrium price, you need to find out a quantity demand and quantity supply. Okay, that is one. And simultaneous shift in demand and supply. Okay, you have to explain all 4 possibilities and with the 2 diagrams, that is for 6 marks. And even they may ask 4-mark question on this simultaneous shift to draw the table, okay, to show the effect on price and quantity when demand and supply shifts simultaneously. And if you go to 6th chapter of microeconomics, their 6-mark question are TRTC approach and one problem oriented question, that is determination of price and output. under monopoly form with the MC and MR and MC approach. One problem is there and you can calculate and learn properly, which is important for 6 marks. And from this chapter, if you consider one more 6 marks, that is short run equilibrium of monopoly form in case of zero cost, simple case of zero cost, that is also equally important and very easy to learn. 4 mark question from this chapter means features of monopolistic and features of oligopoly they may ask. Okay, so these are a few important questions from this. And if you go to the first chapter of macroeconomics, 3 questions are there, 4 mark question. One question definitely they will ask from this chapter for final exam. But here as only 7 chapters we are considering, there may be one question or more than one question. So 3 questions, that is, one is distinguish between microeconomics, macroeconomics, and it is like a passing package question, and definitely they may ask this question, so you can focus on this. And one more, the working of a capitalistic economy, that you need to prepare, and write a note on the role of government and households in developed and developing countries. Dear students, if you prepare properly all these questions, definitely it becomes very easy for you to prepare even for final exam, as you will be preparing for midterm 7 chapters. Easily you can prepare remaining 5 chapters for final exam. And if last part I will be talking, that is practical oriented. From these 7 chapters, there are only 3 chapters from where they are going to ask a practical oriented question. They will give 3 questions, you need to attend 2 questions. And from these 7 chapters, there are only 3 practical oriented questions. One is from 2nd chapter, then one is from 3rd chapter, and another one is from 4th chapter, continuously 2nd, 3rd and 4th. And all these practical oriented questions are also very easy, and you can get a 10 on 10 from this. So all the best for your midterm exam, and prepare properly. If you have any doubts, you can comment, or anything is left out, we can discuss even in comment section. Thank you so much.